It's like,
We did it!
Yeah.
Hello, we're back.
Yay! Hello.
welcome back.
Sorry, this is so annoying.
Fix this one
There,
also.
Oh, much better.
there are a ton of accessibility jobs right now, but I'm in a bad place to move. So
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I can see now.
You can see
the rain is gone.
clearly now. Yep.
Exactly. Get my character sheets open again. And ready to go. All right, so there's 3 things, including a really weird, gross tentacle monster. These are in the rooms that we've cleared so far?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the bottom and the
one in
left.
the
Yes.
bottom is the room to the south that you started in. Clockwise, the one to the left is the room that you're in now. I didn't want to have to hide and reapply the images, so spoilers, you know what the one in the north room is going to look like.
Okay.
We said we're going to the north room. Just jump across.
Are these
Jump right out.
recognized as like beings from a specific time in Geb's history?
It's just Cthulhu coming around is all.
It is very Cthulhu-y. There is like no one here recognizes them from anything.
No.
These creatures, as the Atuyug that you have fought so far, are entirely alien to your experience.
Hmm.
So
From a part of the
red,
world that no one here has ever been to or discovered, or they're from another plane or from another time.
Okay.
red hallway, green monster.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Christmas themed. We just got
Yeah.
here late.
I'm gonna go over and touch it. Now that they've walked into the room, I assume it's okay.
Um, it's always a safe assumption. As you stride across to it, nothing unusual or dangerous happens to you. Touching it, the stone feels warm, and the longer you touch it, the warmer it feels. As soon as you remove your hand from it, there's an immediate cooling sensation, and if you are to retouch it, it starts to slowly begin to heat up again,
Does it start from the same temperature or from like
like from
ambient?
room temp to go. Yep.
Yeah. You know, this
Uh,
this theme and like to me is all elemental monster things. You got earth down below. That was like the spikes. We had fire. We entered into here.
um, does this have the same stars as the last room, or close enough that I can't tell the difference with a?
Yeah, using your same nature checks from before, a time long distant but very similar to the previous room. If there are differences, they would be subtle and slight.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna point at it and point at my thing and put it up and go. Woo!
What's your thing back in your pocket?
Woo 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 woo.
I pull my pants down.
We found the moon.
I was bored. I just had to take a game action.
All right. Do we want to go? Uh, I do we want to go back and go up north?
Question.
Yep, let's keep it going.
As an Earth Genasi, would I recognize anything distinct about the materials that these statues are carved from? Or is
I
it
mean,
just
you.
rock is rock is rock?
It is. They're each. Though so far, the two have been different, like natural stones. But there's nothing.
Unique or weird about
Sure. Yeah.
them?
There's no quality that jumps out at you as like, oh, that shouldn't be here, or this is unusual. Like,
Okay.
they're huge, massive 2-ton stone statues that have been meticulously, painstakingly carved. Um, but they are from materials that are natural and identifiable.
Okay.
Um, Going out of the eastern room back to the antechamber,
I still
the
want this room.
captain of the guard wants to know what you've seen so far. Do you want to download everything that you've learned with him now? Not at all, or maybe later?
Yeah, let's let him know as we leave each of the rooms so that way if his team wants to go in and investigate, they can know what to expect and that it's clear and or safe. I
Yeah,
think that's
we'll
probably
tell
fine.
him there's literally no danger at all. You should come with us into this next chamber.
Mhm.
I agree. Yeah.
He
Or
does.
maybe we should just show him one of the chambers and say, hey, like this is totally chill. You should explore in depth with us from here on. Since
He
you're
will
so
still
well
wait at the antechamber's entrance to the north, but sends men into the south and to the east, or to the west rather, to
confirmed.
secure the area.
Sure.
I call
Uh,
dibs on the room or the hallway.
Do we have enough time to take a short rest and get back some hit points?
I think that's up to the captain. We're kind of on his time.
And we're heading towards north anyway. We're doing our investigations.
If you want to stay here with the captain to recover some hit points while we go into the next room, you can. We haven't found anything so far, and you could join us and
You're our backup.
just sit
Hey.
out for one.
I can't talk to you guys anyway, so maybe I just sit down and
Yeah.
just like I can't talk, I can't communicate.
She's gonna sit down and get a snack
If you
out
hear
of your
screaming,
satchel. I'm just gonna pat him on the forehead as we walk by.
I'm sure he doesn't mind being infantilized at all. All right, moving to the northern corridor, you walk through this ever narrowing architecture that you've experienced before. It's designed to make you feel dizzy and or claustrophobic. However, the dimensions of the room never actually change. At the end of the hallway, however, there is highly polished, almost transparent quartz on the ground that lets you look through the floor to what
Oh.
looks like an endless abyss of cloudy sky. You're unsure of how this illusion is being created, but it looks like there is no floor and there's just like falling from a great height down to, thousands of feet geb below somewhere. It looks like empty sky, and you struggle to see any real physical purchase.
Could we use like one of those simple spells? I'm looking to see if Renan has anything that you can like conjure a rug of purple light. Like it doesn't really do anything, but I don't I don't know what the spell is, but like you can do simple little things with it.
Like prestidigitation.
Yeah, maybe. Just
What do you
something
want to do?
to basically cast like Indiana Jones with the rocks style.
He did that with pocket sand.
Pocket. Well, I
Yeah,
don't have
pocket sand.
pocket sand. And I was thinking we could do something with magic, but I'm sure I could dig up some pocket
Too
sand.
bad we don't have Hoppy. He's got dandruff.
Ugh,
Just
no, he doesn't.
True, it's just lice. He
I
can't
don't.
understand me anyway. That's okay.
I mean, I guess I could take the rope and just hold on to one end and roll the rest of it out across the floor just so that we can visually see if it is actually a dip. I'm sure it's an illusion just like the fire, but probably better not just wander on out just in case.
You're not scared of heights, are you, Oni?
I am not, but I would like for everybody who isn't an incredible athlete, a remarkable athlete, to be able to respond accordingly.
I appreciate it because
Draco.
you know me.
Because
It does seem like something I would do.
we can teleport if needed, but I don't think that we'll need to. So I just want to make sure that we're being careful.
Hey, Renan, check for traps. Would you be a lamb and check for traps?
She's gonna look at Draco and roll her eyes, but give a
See,
good look
this is
around.
why you are rolling for her.
They all have been above average. That's pretty impressive.
I know. 17s and 18s and
Wasting all my good rolls on these.
There are no obvious signs of traps. No
Okay.
tripwires, no pressure plates. No, nestled glass ampules ready to pop with acid.
All right, then Oni's gonna do the rope trick and roll the rope out and see and toss it toss the far end as far as she can while still holding on to one end.
Yeah, it's only like 15 feet into the opened antechamber, like it has been in the last 2 rooms.
Perfect.
You are satisfied as the rope uncoils that the floor is solid. However, like it's almost more disorientating now to see this rope just kind of floating, in quotes, over empty airspace.
As long as we have something to walk next to, I'm not worried about it.
there's an almost like mental bugaboo temptation to try to tightrope walk on the now laid out rope.
Yeah, like Draco's Keith kind of got that little eye on it, like he kind of wants to get on there instead.
I
have no
know that
problem
this isn't
with
real,
this.
but
That's what it's there for. You go right on ahead.
crossing into the room, you see the same illuminated fresco on the ceiling depicting a night sky of Geb thousands or perhaps tens of thousands of years before the night sky as you would see it tonight.
Do they seem like they have been slightly different? Like seasonal, possibly, or no?
Because you're talking about like constellation timing,
Yeah.
there are small differences. You could equate them to seasonal timing. It could also just be small, artist mistakes. When
Okay.
you're talking about like a potential human hand having to paint these
Right.
in each room, like it's possible that those small inconsistencies could just be human error,
Gotcha.
or they could be perfectly designed and you're only seeing in each room the passage of a very, very minuscule amount of time.
Right. Okay.
Like in terms of epochs or even centuries, these are all probably in roughly the same time as
Okay.
they're all
Gotcha.
contemporary. But there are small inconsistencies that could either be seasonal differences or artistic flourishes.
Okay. So the statue that we see over there.
Yep. He's got writhing tentacles that come out of a toothy maw. Both of his left and right arms are tentacles that end in mouths that end in tentacles. And what's interesting about this one is, depending on the side that you look at him, he appears to be made of basalt, solid stone. But if you look at him from the other side, it's that transparent quartz that the hollow is made of, and he appears to be entirely translucent.
Okay. So I think, yeah, okay, I really do think these are elemental creatures. Because, I mean, sky, air, you got fire. The first one was clearly earth. So I put money on the next one to be some kind of water monster or water deity or whatever these are. Because these seem like they're religious-ish. And let me look. Is the inscription destroyed?
It is.
Shocker. Here we go.
It says, "I'm gonna eat yous with my little mouth."
So, hey, Oni, you want to touch this one?
Yes, I will touch it on behalf of Hoppy not being here.
Only as you reach out to touch it, it's cool to the touch, slightly like 1 or 2 degrees colder than the ambient temperature of this room. But as you touch it, you feel a shortness of breath take you. As a remarkable athlete, you often can run great distances without feeling winded.
Mhm.
However, just sitting still in this cave, you find you need to just breathe deeper to fill your lungs with the same quantity of air as before, almost as if some small portion of the air in your lungs is being stolen from you.
Don't touch it. It takes the air from your breath.
Oh, I thought you were just getting turned on by it.
Nope.
Just take it.
And catch my breath.
And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk away, shaking my hands like, ew, get it off.
Little Tay-Tay shake it off.
Exactly.
Okay. If there's no other interest in this corridor, you go back to the central chamber, and the pile of corpses need be pushed out of the way slightly, or you need to step over that pile of corpses to enter the room to the east.
Am I ready to rejoin them?
That's up to you.
Am I done with my short rest?
I'm okay shortcutting it a little bit, shortcutting the short rest, and say that's fine.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go with him, and I'll go in the front, and I will check for traps because I'm gonna protect them.
And Renan will step forward and do the same. From behind Hoppy, so that she's got cover just in case she needs it.
Jesus.
Yep. all very good rolls. There are no apparent traps in the hallway. You experience the same narrowed architecture to create that dizzying claustrophobia effect. The physical dimensions of the room do not change as you explore it. After about 20 feet of that, you hit the same 15-foot threshold that you have in each of the 4 rooms. However, this time the floor shifts from that, manufactured carved stone to it. Wish Michelle were here. It appears to be a dense slab of lapis lazuli,
What?
Shots, shots, shots.
Shots.
polished at different intervals to give the perception of like waves, or the textured density that you would see in water as you were looking into deep water, where the light reflects off of silt and different depths of dimension. And the surface of this lapis lazuli stone plate is covered in like just a quarter inch of water.
Like it actually is?
It's just enough to splash. There's seemingly no depth to it, but it is fluid.
But it's not a trap that we can tell.
To the best of your perception, it doesn't seem to be a trap.
Okay.
And both your guys' perception's pretty high.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and go through.
Mm-hmm. I'll be right behind him with Renan right behind me.
And I'll continue on.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look directly up at the sky, see if it has the stars.
It does. Shiny blue, still no moon, from an epoch long ago. However, the opposite side of this room, where there previously have been 3 statues, there is a stone plinth, but there is no statue.
This one is currently active.
Oh.
We have found the boss room. I don't know if that's true.
Oh. Unless this is.
Unless we already killed the boss
From this room.
in this room.
Is it likely?
And now we have to kill the other 3.
Based on what Amon knows about that other creature, is it likely that it lived in a wet area? Like, could it have just been existing in this room?
So you fought creatures that are relatively the same. They've all had slight differences. They all seem to be psychic. They all seem to be tentacles, but some have been quadrupedal, some have been bipedal. Some have the ability to create a poison effect. Some drain life. So very different. If like from Amon's hunter's perspective, if someone told him these are purely aquatic creatures, there would be nothing in his experience that like didn't resonate with that. However, if someone told him that they were, partially aquatic or not at all aquatic, he would also be able to be like, yeah, that makes sense. There's nothing about their biology that specifically suggests that they are aquatic or semi-aquatic. However, were that the case, none of it would surprise him.
Gotcha.
There is one notable difference in this room. While besides the empty plinth, the inscription at the base of this statue is intact.
Oh, can anyone read old? Hey, Amon, you're usually good at reading old.
Read old,
Just
please.
because I'm old doesn't mean
You're a bookworm.
you're a worm.
Your face is a worm.
We'd still love you if you were a worm.
We'd hear you were such a catch.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who is proficient in history can attempt to decipher it. It's kind of like it is an ancient version of the common language used on Geb, but it's sort of like Middle English versus Modern English, where like, yeah, those are words, those are letters I recognize, but I don't really understand what that word is.
Reading Shakespeare for the first time.
Are they Minotaur by any chance? Because I could read Minotaur.
That would be amazing.
Coincidentally, this is the ancient god of the Minotaur. No Minotaur, only ancient common.
Okay.
Amon, that's good. That's a good roll. You are able to translate the letters into like modern common, but it doesn't make a ton of sense to you.
Put it up. Put it up. Otiur.
Oh, I know that guy.
It's not until Oni pronounces it out loud after you've transcribed it on some parchment that you realize that the way she's vocalized those letters in common is not dissimilar to the way the creatures were referring to themselves as a Tuyog.
Hmm.
Pretty sure I have some Atuyug fillets. So maybe I take one out of my bag and throw it on the plinth.
Nice. Rebuild from here.
Nice.
Well, I don't think you can use herpaderp. I think that's their word.
So not an acronym. Did I really pronounce
so-
it close to accurately?
Their scholars disagree in the D&D canon whether it's Otuyug, Atuyug, or Atuyach. But any of those
Yug.
pronunciations is close enough to the way you've heard it spoken in your mind when dealing with these creatures
Okay.
that you've not seen it written before, but as you say it out loud, everybody kind of looks at each other and goes, "Oh shit, that's what they were saying."
Oh.
I don't know what that is. I just fight things.
Oh, Tuya.
Someone will have to tell me if that's bad.
So is that
That seems
Draco? Do you think
odd.
that's their race? That's this
No.
one's name?
I think it's the name.
Like,
And
Given its position on the plinth's base, and assuming that there was at some point a statue there, using modern reasoning and modern conventions, it would seem like that's its name.
yeah.
Making a couple of logical assumptions, but
Granddaddy Tuyug.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Did they build
I
the
think
pyramids though?
Probably.
ancient aliens.
kind of-
So basically, someone summoned this guy, thus he's not here. His statue isn't here. And since they didn't want competition, they scratched out the names of the other three,
Oh.
so they can't be summoned.
So there must be a way to unsummon it.
Yeah, or just straight kill. Maybe if we scratch out his name. Haha. Or
But
maybe
that
we have
might
to
mean
pronounce his name
we can't put him
backwards.
back.
Yeah, that might mean that we can't put him back. Do any of our spellcasters or historians have any information? Can we? Sari might know. Sari might have some information about this, and or have information from the god that we could use to work with this. I know she's not
But we
with
gotta-
us.
We
Where
haven't
did we
talked-
leave her?
I think she's on the ship.
Oh, she's not even here with us.
She's in the Oasis. She just didn't want to
Oh,
be
she
near
is.
enough High Mother Lillipilipite in case her intentions were gleaned. She's been
Gotcha.
hanging out at the cheap inn in the merchants. I call it a square, but it's a circle.
Okay.
The lowest tier of the city.
So we've forgotten about her. She hasn't forgotten about us.
We should hopefully she hasn't. We
Jeez.
should.
She's doing the Luke of just staying away from Endor so Vader can't detect her. But
We should see if she has any information about this, and probably ask the captain if he would have any information about this. If this is some kind of temple built over the oasis, you would think that they would know about it.
Well, he hasn't known anything so far.
I'm telling you, this guy's worthless. He's a terrible captain.
that is just harsh judgments all the way around. Imagine someone's lying to you. They're probably lying to him. Are you thoughtless idiots for not knowing the truth? Oh yeah, you are. Sorry.
No, we just don't follow any. We don't follow any.
Common sense whatsoever. That's right.
I was going more for authority, but
All
Does
right, so
anybody have like stone cunning or a stone cunning like feature or mason's tools proficiency?
if anyone would be Oni.
You would think, but I do not. I have all weapons,
I got
as
herbalism.
survival and performance, and as an
Like
Earth
the
Genasi, all I really get is Dark Vision and Earth Walk and Merge with Stone. But Merge with Stone just gives me Blade Ward Cantrip. All my stuff is fighting stuff. It's not really helpful in terms of
Yeah,
adventuring.
I've got a couple
Not-
chisels and stuff, but that's no proficiencies or anything.
All right. I will give you guys a sort of just a freebie based on like the vibe check of this place. Everything about both these completely alien creatures, the stellar frescoes on the ceilings, and the construction techniques and materials used here, everything about this particular, basement cult room seems to be significantly older than anything else you've encountered here in the Oasis. All of the High Garden stuff, all of the Merchant Town stuff is old, but if that's old, this is ancient.
But
Just get
obviously,
a
someone
vibe sense that
built
this
a
is much
house. Yeah, someone built a house on top of this place to make it look like it's not here.
yes, to be forgotten about.
So someone's trying to cover it up, which we already know.
Is there any like a magical aura in any of these rooms that we've noticed, or in this one in particular? Being a magic user and all.
Our wizard, you're not a wizard, but I'm going to say you're a wizard. Our
That's
wizard
not-
hasn't used detect magic.
I am not a wizard, Harry.
You're closer to a hairy wizard.
I arrive precisely when I mean to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I could go ahead and do a detect magic. Do I got that spell?
Wizard never
Yeah, I
comes
did.
early.
I did have its view. Yeah, there you go. Detect magic. I'll do that towards the plinth itself, just to see if it gives off anything specifically.
It does not. I'll give you the whole room because I assume eventually, with up to 10 minutes of concentration, you would stroll.
Yeah.
The stone plinth on which the statue was placed, presumably at one time, has a very, very, very small, like, remnant of nothing. What I mean is that, like, as you study the arcane, you sometimes learn that there's a difference between nothing being there and there being nothing. You can intellectually appreciate the difference.
Mm-hmm.
There's an element of nothingness left around this plinth.
The
That,
vacuum.
as you describe it to the group, seems a lot like the block that Amon experienced when he was trying to sense this creature's weaknesses.
Gotcha. I passed that on basically.
As you spin the room, you also notice that the small amount of water that was on the lapis lazuli slab is magically enchanted.
The magic water.
The magic water is, like I said, only about a 1/4 inch deep, but it is all that incredibly light sky blue from the divination school of magic.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would
My
like-
position would be that likely this was some kind of like detection measure. This is somebody's, ring cam, letting
Right.
whoever cast it know that somebody's in this room.
Get the ripples happening. Oh, someone alert. Here we go.
I would like to get on the plinth and pretend to be one of these guys. Go, "Ooh."
Take a heroic pose.
So,
That's very
Amon,
interesting.
you said, Amon, that the void, like, it felt like nothing whenever you were checking the monster out. That's what I'm getting on the plinth itself.
Inky
Okay, same.
blackness.
Yeah. That's one way of putting it.
Does my dark vision see the inky blackness?
Oh no, it's the feeling of like there's
I-
nothing, a void.
Like rather than detecting no magic, he detected nothing, which is slightly different. Like this is the absence of anything rather
It's the
than just not being
antimatter
there.
or
It's like,
anti-magic.
yeah, it's finding void versus finding nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Subtly different.
Yeah.
Hoppy, as you jump on the plinth and pose as your most monstrous kaiju incarnation, something happens to everybody else. I need the 4 of you in the room that are not Hoppy to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh. I can just hear Rinna now. Fucking Hoppy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to have advantage on.
Look at that. I am pretty wisdom. Or pretty high in wisdom.
I'm pretty wisdom. Not intelligent. I'm pretty wisdom.
That's right.
So I think, Zach is right in that as soon as Hoppy gets on the plinth, all of you go to chastise him, with the "God damn it, Hoppy, stop fucking around." However, as you go to admonish him, Oni and Amon, both of you struggle to remember his name.
Get off the plinth! Get off the plinth!
Draco and Renan land on it. Hoppy, God damn it, get off of there! But the two of you are like, "Hey,
We figured it out. That's how they forget people. They toss the dead bodies on there, and then everyone goes poof. Holy crap!
No! I don't want to forget Hoppy.
It's like it's enough that you can catch it, and you know that you're like you should know this, but you just can't get there fast enough. It's a really weird moment. Like you know him, but just God damn, his name is. He's a big Minotaur guy, and his name is, and it just never comes.
Does it jog because we hear Draco and Renan say Hoppy?
While Hoppy is on the plinth, even as they're yelling at him, that doesn't sound familiar to you. You see him,
And of course,
you think,
he doesn't
my friend,
understand us.
and his name is,
I
and the
can't
two of them are yelling
understand
Hoppy, and you're
you.
like, I don't think that's right.
I'm gonna frantically wave at him and like gesture for him to come to me, and see if when he gets off of the platform, it goes away.
Hoppy, Oni is challenging you to jumping jacks. She's already at 3.
I'm gonna start jumping jacks.
I'm going to try to lasso him with my rope to pull him bodily off of the plinth.
Whether you're cajoling him or trying to push or pull him off the plinth, as soon as he steps off that statue's edifice, Hoppy, his name is Hoppy. It just snaps right back into your mind.
I'm gonna give him like a giant hug. He's gonna have no idea what's happening.
Very concerned that somebody's touching me now.
I'm sure. I am also a little concerned that I'm hugging you, but I'm just gonna give you a really tight warrior squeeze and then pat you on the arm and step away. And try
What's
to gesture.
Your problem,
no.
Odie?
I'm gonna try and console her because I think I scared her with my.
Yeah, it was a really brutal kaiju pose. I mean, you're normally terrifying, but like, given your ability to intimidate,
No
not right now.
tentacles.
But yeah, very scary.
I'm gonna look at Renan and Draco and just say, I couldn't remember his name. This might be how they're making people forget.
What?
And look at Amon and say, did you have the same problem?
He's just drooling, but
His name is. I'm still like not remembering his name. Like Harold. And
Oh, because he's hairy.
Hamathy.
Hamathy. I like Hamathy.
Hoppy seems unfazed by his journey to the plinth. Two of you, had no ill effect,
right.
but the other two of you had a hard time remembering his name for a brief moment. However, now that he's off the plinth, it seems like maybe it was just a slip of the mental tongue, and it was a super weird sensation for the two of you that you couldn't remember the name of your traveling companion and didn't even recognize it when others spoke it aloud.
If it's temporary, though, that means that it's not like they're just putting the bodies on the plinth, because once the body was removed from the plinth, people would remember again, right?
Maybe it's over time. Like maybe they have to leave them on for a certain amount of time.
Or maybe this is just the small fragment of power left on the plinth by whatever stood there before.
Could
And even
be.
its like fart gas, its residual fart toots,
Ah!
is strong enough to make some memory lapses happen.
Ew, I don't like it at all.
You don't like Eldritch God farts?
I don't like Hobby hanging around in a lingering fart cloud. That's not the kind of D&D I want to play.
It says here Tuyug translates to crop duster.
Okay. So not back on the plinth. Definitely not back on the plinth.
What a mystery puzzle piece found.
So what do you guys think? Should we go out and talk to the captain? And then maybe...
Explain to him the plinth too.
Yeah, yes, definitely. To make sure that he knows. Well, I guess we could talk to him and then even see if he wants to like demonstrate it with a member of his team, since we know that it's temporary.
Ooh, there you go.
To
Yeah, if
help.
we can have him help us confirm the story, I think that would be really helpful.
And again, he rolls a 20, nat 20, when he can remember the guy, no problem.
But that's okay, because some of his men might not be able to, and that's what we're going to try to demonstrate, right? Is that we know that this is a problem, and while he doesn't know that people are missing, we know that there are people that have gone missing and their loved ones have forgotten them. So this is a way for us to demonstrate that in a non-permanent way. I don't know. We could ask him if he wanted to try it.
I'm willing to try it with him.
Do you want to do the detect magic in the other rooms?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Well, those plinths were occupied, right, by
Statues.
So the lingering magic might just be because this statue wasn't destroyed. The name plaque area wasn't destroyed.
And we do kind of feel that they do have magic anyway with them, seeing as how, when you touch them, you got the feeling, magic coming off of them.
Back to the center's, like the spoke, the chamber where the spiral staircase is, where the dead bodies are. The captain of the guard asks what you found, and then freaks out when Hoppy walks in the room and asks where this person has come from. He orders his guards to arms, and they surround Hoppy.
Who doesn't understand what's happening? I'm going to position myself in between Hoppy and the guards and say, "Wait, let us explain. This is what we've been trying to tell you."
He asks, "You've discovered the murderer? Was it this monstrous beast?"
No, this is Hoppy. He's a member of our party, and we've been telling you that people are getting forgotten through some kind of weird magic. Let us show you.
And we found it.
Tells you this is the most ridiculous story he's heard all day. He found the four of you not but 20 minutes ago.
Let us show you.
There were 5 of us.
Make a persuasion check, Oni. You can make it with advantage because you guys have this sort of arguing warrior stubborn asshole thing going.
I was gonna say I'd give the help action.
Persuasion or performance?
So she have advantage.
Persuasion, please. You're trying to convince him to come to your side, your point of view.
15.
15's pretty good.
What we're looking for 17.
In this very brief window of time that you've known each other, it's almost come to blows on 3 separate occasions. But you've also, you're not the one that lied to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's willing to in his mind as an investigator, he is their big tough guy, but he's also got a keen investigative mind, or at least has demonstrated some elements of that before. And I think he's going to agree to follow you, but you get the intention, or you get the understanding that his intention here is to sort of give you enough rope to hang yourself. Sure, you'll get some leeway, but this time the entire entourage of guard follows with him, and he thinks he's either about to crack the case wide open or he's going to get to finally throw down, and either way he's happy.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm gonna start by explaining to him what we experienced. So gesturing to our smarter family members and saying, when Hoppy got up on the plinth, half of us remembered him and half of us immediately forgot who he was. But
And you guys clearly still do.
when he stepped off the plinth, we were able to remember who he was again. So I would ask that you ask a member of your squad, since these are your people and you trust them, ask one of them to step up on that plinth, and let's see if some of your crew can't remember them. When they step down, that memory should return. But anyone outside of this room might not remember them, as evidenced by your not remembering Hoppy, who was here with us and even sat outside with you to take a break while we entered the northern cavern. He's been hanging out with
Which
your
is
crew.
quite funny.
He shakes his head, telling you that he has no recollection of those events.
Then let us show you. Will one of your men step forward and do this challenge so that you can see it? It can't be you. Well, I guess it could be him,
No.
right?
We don't want. He's the leader, so we
No,
really
but
don't want it to be him.
Hoppy didn't forget anything when he went up on the plinth.
True, but see how hard it is to convince him what's going on.
Yeah. I would leave it up to the captain which he would prefer. He knows all of his men. Would he trust one of his men to step up on that plinth?
He says that these men would do whatever they're ordered to do, and he points at the group of 3 on his left, and 2 of them take an immediate step backwards.
I said I could.
But
And
he
we
tells
have
you
a volunteer.
if there's any danger, he'd rather take the risk himself.
It's no danger physical. It's just be forgotten. He's someone of authority, so you need to
Can I hear you guys?
Hey, yeah, we can hear you. Were you talking?
So yeah, I keep saying, he shouldn't step forward because he needs to keep his authority, and if he's forgotten by everyone else, he loses that authority.
Okay. The accidentally voluntold city guardsman reluctantly moves towards the stone.
Not even a little bit.
Everyone, what's his name? Everyone knows his name.
Oh yeah, let's ask for the captain's name first before he steps up on.
Not the captain's name, the person.
Oh, the person.
The person he's. Yeah.
We had lost Hoppy, so Hoppy, we got a volunteer of the captain's guard to go up on the plinth, and we're going to try to demonstrate the memory wipe.
I'm gonna go with him and pantomime the tentacle thing.
Dance, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Don't go back up there.
His
name is Splashapil.
Splashapil. So I help escort him up there. Like, Splashapil, good luck. I hope you don't have people witnessing you.
He starts talking to you about his enormous family and how important it is that he return safely to them.
Oh, you return safely.
I don't like this because everybody outside of the room didn't remember Hoppy.
Yeah.
So if he has a big family, his family isn't going to remember him. Do they have pictures of him? I'm going to ask him. It'd be paintings.
There's no such thing as actual photos.
That's fine.
No photos.
He tells you that there's no. He's just a guardsman. He can't afford an oil painting or a statue. But you promise it's safe.
Well, this feels kind of messed up. But yeah, it's perfectly safe.
And it's to protect the oasis?
All the oasis.
The captain of the guard looks at you one last time for approval.
Well, okay, and I look at the boss man and go, okay, you know his name, right?
He nods in the affirmative.
Okay. Step right on up, buddy.
Reluctantly, Splashapil gets the go-ahead from his commander and steps up onto the plinth and immediately tells you that he feels dizzy and cold.
Oh,
Once again, I'd like everybody in the room to make a wisdom saving throw. Everybody in the party makes it with advantage, though.
okay.
Oh no, Renan! Renan's not going to remember him.
Should she get it with advantage? Can you roll again?
Oh, right.
Come on.
Sorry.
There you go.
16
There
is
you go.
better.
That's
16
better.
is much better.
Oh,
The guardsman is on the plinth for several seconds. 10 seconds go by.
okay. I wave
All
him
of you
off.
keenly remember everything. As soon as he steps off the plinth, the captain of the guard reacts, asking him why he's down here and when did he arrive. He clearly does not recognize this person at all. He's going entirely off of, like, he's wearing the garb of a city guardsman, but does not recognize him.
Okay. Do you remember why we entered this room?
He tells you that you were going to demonstrate some kind of magical power based on the statue stone over here.
Exactly. And the
And now I've got
memory
men out of
loss.
position.
Okay. Anyone else in the room recognize this guy?
One person seems to recognize him. The other 6 guardsmen in the room that are not Splashapill or the captain of the guard look like this is a stranger. I've not met him before, almost eyeing him like, where did he come from?
And Captain, you trust your men, correct?
He reluctantly agrees, but like you can tell
Okay.
he's suspicious of you especially.
I don't blame him. But the one that recognizes him come forward and explain the situation that just happened.
He like won't look up and kind of has his hands like crossed in front of his groin and just well, the thing Splash a pillow volunteering to go up on the thing, and then everybody forgot him.
See? There you go.
Like this very mousy city guardsman is able to recant from his perspective. All that's happened is Splashapill, a long-term member of this particular squad, went up on that platform, and then the rest of you are pretending to not know him. But this city guardsman seems to remember him.
Now see, everything we said was true. I fold my hands in front of myself, go, there you go.
He says, what seems more likely, that this stone has altered the memory of 7 of the elite guard of this city,
Yeah.
or you have cast another spell on our weakest-minded member?
Oh, that's rude. That's so rude.
We asked
Tell
him.
him to send someone else up.
No.
So now we just need to bring the guy off the plinth, right? And then they'll remember him.
No, he is
because-
off. I pulled him off already. He's
Oh,
up there
and they
for
still
10
don't
seconds.
remember him?
Yeah. He wasn't a strong member, I guess. I don't know.
Oh shit.
One member of the party, this little mousy captain, a waif of a person, a waif of a Kuatoan soldier, recognizes him and remembers everything that's happened in the last 2 minutes, but everyone else does not. Well, you guys do. Every other member of the city guard, including the captain, do not.
Except for Rin. Oh, no, Renan does now, yeah.
The whole party, plus let's call him Mousy Captain or Mousy Guardsman, remembers him. The other 7 members of the watch, including the captain of the guard, do not.
What's the name of the captain of the guard?
Rux.
Thanks.
Mhm.
I'm having some focus issues, so I'm taking notes.
Yeah. Voluntold. And
Did
denounced.
I lose you guys
Camera
again?
Frozen for
No,
anybody
you're
else.
good. I hear you.
John was just typing out the names for your notes.
If you want, the guard captain Rux is very skeptical. He's trying to understand what's happening. He wants, like, you can tell there's a desire to want to at least learn the truth, which means you have to stay even somewhat open-minded to possibilities. He recognizes this person as being garbed and clad in the armor and weapons of the City Watch. It seems unlikely someone would be able to perfectly reproduce all of this down to the canisters of fear gas that he has.
Mhm.
And he's got one of his own men telling him that this is real. You can see that he's conflicted. It wouldn't take much to convince him, but you can tell that there's just he doesn't know what to believe. It would take one more nudge in the your favor way to convince him, or another act of obvious betrayal to make him a lifetime enemy.
Okay, Splash. Go ahead and explain your history, how long you've worked with these guys. And name every single person in here that you know.
Rico, that's an excellent idea.
Mhm.
After Splashapill recounts everybody's family name and given name, their positions within the city organization, historical data about their families and activities they've done, parties they've been together, arrests they've made, the one time that they both had to deploy fear gas canisters in an emergency situation patrolling the lower gardens. Like, everybody looks at each other like, this is all 100% true. Like, there's those exchanges of knowing glances, like, this definitely happened. I have no idea who the fuck this person is, but
That
sort of in the
sucks.
face of insurmountable evidence that this is all real and happened, they have no choice but to sort of, they can't, you've pushed Rux past the point of, it would take levels of knowledge and manipulation beyond what he can imagine for you to manufacture this evidence.
And of course, see
Which
this.
means you're either significantly more powerful and more intelligent than he is,
Mhm.
which he's willing to address as a possibility, or what you're telling him is the truth.
I was gonna say, or we're
Yes,
just
exactly.
not lying.
And he said, for the sake of him and his men, he's going to operate under the assumption of the second one, but
Mhm.
how he reacts from this point forward will be identical from the first.
Sounds.
Because if you're that much more powerful and intelligent than he is, what could he do to stop you anyway?
There you go. I like this guy. He's smart.
Just a keen investigator.
Yes, yes.
But he asks you now what all of this means. What does that tell us about these pile of bodies, and what do I
Well,
do next?
see, so here's what I got going on. Is we got the bodies. These are a whole bunch of people that's been going missing in the last few weeks in your area. You clearly don't notice because they get thrown onto here, so they get forgotten about. They're getting fed upon as you saw their skulls being plucked out. So we need help trying to figure out the brain sucking monster. And that's where you guys come in, trying to get your brain sucked out and maybe have a guard in this room at all times, or a set of guards, make sure no one else gets forgotten.
Or some kind of alarm that can alert us. We can let them know that we have another member of our team that we can bring in that might have some additional information or be able to help us figure out who has
I
set
mean,
this out on the Oasis.
the other thing I could try to see if we can get to ruin this thing is dispel magic. I could attempt that.
Do it. Let's give it a go.
Now,
But
now
tell
here's
him first what you're going to do. Tell the captain in case the dispel magic brings their memory back, so that he knows that you're the one that brought it back, and it wasn't just some kind of weird trickery.
true. So I'll explain to him, right? Yeah, there you go. I'm going.
It may or may not work.
It may or may not work. I'm going to try to do this. And yeah, so that way maybe it'll be inert and it won't be an issue.
Hmm.
But how will we know if it's inert or not? I don't want to step on it.
I'll interject a little bit to help with the decision as the DM. In the past, successful dispelling of magics have like a feedback. There's
Okay.
almost always like a very knowing,
Pop.
shattering of glass or destruction of magic. Like the caster of dispel knows whether or
Okay.
not it's done something or nothing.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to attempt to dispel magic on the plinth. I'm going to give it my strongest I can. Because I know this is old magic. It's been here for forever. So.
Okay. Interesting. The spell immediately snaps off. You clap your hands together, sending a shockwave of fire across the stone plinth and against the wall, and it hits something. A small, like, mote of purple energy hovering in space above the plinth, that sort of residual residue of nothingness that you detected before, begins to burn like a small cinder ash, catches fire, and pops. There is also a chain of purple that looks sort of like a hollow tube that starts to burn like a firework, coiling up out of the wall and into something else, and
Oh.
until it disappears out of your line of sight, continues to burn. Instantly, everyone remembers Splash a Pill, and his membership in this community.
Yay!
Oh. Wait.
So we can dispel magic on people who have forgotten their loved ones?
No, it's not that. I dispelled this, so anyone that was forgotten through this is possibly now remembered. Do you remember Hoppy being with us?
No, remember, we remembered him as soon as... Oh, Amon didn't.
No, I'm talking to the guard.
Yeah, everybody remembers Hoppy now.
Yay!
Okay, we got a pile of bodies. Shall we check our pile of bodies?
And see if they recognize him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think some shit's about to go down, guys.
They begin piling through the bodies, and there's a flood of raw emotion as they are
Recognize.
unburying these. They are family members. They are friends. They are relatives. In one case, it's a wife. In one case, it's a son. This is this other guy's best friend. This is my next door neighbor. All of them are recognizable members of their community. Many of them have deep and personal connections to the member of the city's guard here that are now uncovering their mutilated corpses.
Somebody has brought this to the Oasis and has done this to your people. Let us help you.
Stifling back his own raw emotion, closing his eyes for a minute to starve them of tears, he doesn't know what to do, but tells you that he will help you, but thinks that the next thing that we should do is bring you before the High Regent, and you can explain to her what's happened. She would know best what to do.
Okay.
As long as she's not the one that's been doing it. Let's go. Lead the way.
Then I go to Renan. See that? I did that.
She's gonna roll her eyes.
You are walked outside and down the street towards the floating pyramid in the sky that is the personal chambers of the High Regent Lillipilippi, the governor of the Oasis. A small sandstone circle drops down out of the sky, allowing you to step on it, and seemingly powered by the same kind of lodestone technology that you experienced in the Druid City, issues you 200 feet straight up to the base of the floating pyramid. Guards are waiting there and ask you what your purpose is. Rux tells them to step aside immediately, that he needs an urgent audience with the regent, and will accept nothing short of that. Because he's got his hand on the hilt of his sword, they read that as a very serious circumstance, and they're going to allow you entrance. They make you wait in an antechamber for several minutes. You can hear hustling and bustling happening beyond this door in the grand chamber where the regent has audience. After about 15 minutes of waiting, the doors crack open and you can see a large room full of statues that pour water, like an endless amount, infinite water, down into this pool that seems to recycle, creating sort of like that infinite pool look. There are a retinue of advisors and guards that flank the long pathway between the entrance to this building and the throne where High Regent Lillipillipi sits, and you are allowed entrance. It looks a little bit like this.
Ooh.
Since we've been around all these fish people, I really expected the High Regent to be like a floppy jowled fish person.
Instead, she's kinda hot.
Starkly different.
That's really not what I was expecting with
She
that
has
name.
a very sleek, very humanoid appearance that is starkly different from what the normal Kuatoan physique looks like. She has gill slits on her neck and long, almost elfin ears, long blue hair and thick, rubbery blue skin, but she has opaque golden eyes and golden tattoos that cover her body. She always appears wet, even when she's not in water.
Yeah, she does.
Get them around.
But she stands at your entrance and waits for you to come in. And I think we're going to stop it there because I don't want to do the audience without Michelle. And this is a good time for us to stop anyway if Mark's having internet issues.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Draco,
I'm good.
you did
And
it!
fantastic.
I think Draco should get the inspiration. That was awesome. Everybody now remembers
was a-
everybody.
That was clutch.
The chaos in the streets are probably crazy though.
I'm so
Joe's
excited.
gonna
I
be
think we
so
should
pissed.
open the conversation with, is there anyone that you've recently rediscovered from your life that you thought was missing?
Sounds like a weird infomercial.
Hey, Draco's Dispello.
That was amazing. Oh my gosh. All right, thanks, guys.
Just because I used a nice strong dispel.
Dispello.
Until next
I did as strong
time.
as I could. 'Cause